everybody. I'm here for my week 1, which is actually almost a 2-week update on how my One Book July 2019 is going. So you can see I have a lot of stuff here on the table. You can see I have the Kindle version of the Bullet Journal Method, and I have my hardcover. And the reason I have both out is I was traveling from the 27th and through the 8th of the 27th of June through the 8th of July. I was traveling, and so I took my Kindle version of the Bullet Journal with me instead of the hard copy that I've had since it came out in the fall. So it was very nice to have this sleek version to carry. And what I have been using since the last week of June is this little notebook. Yep, this little notebook. That's it. I previously was in the personal size, and I've been in the personal size all year. Here's my January insert, my February, my March, my April, my May, and my June is in here. I have not printed a July insert. So just so you could see the difference in size, I went from a personal size to this. It is quite a bit smaller, and this is what we call a micro size, or in the Foxy Fix land, because that's what this is, it would be considered a number 0. So let me get these out of the way for the time being. Let's take a look and see what we have. I still have my little Kaweco Sport pen, which I have mainly been using on the go and just a little bit. When we were traveling, the ink refill that I had in it ran out. And of course, I didn't pack any extras, so I had to go to my Tulle, T-U-L pen, because I had it in my little Delphonics pouch, which I carried with me because I had art supplies and stuff like that. There will be a video coming up, towards the end of this week, early next week, showing all of the stuff that I packed, planner and art related. This is the one notebook that I took with me. I did take some art paper and some art, an art insert that I made, but this was the one and lonely notebook. My personal size, passport size, everything else stayed here in Oklahoma while I was away. So I have, like I always have, a bunch of stickers and business cards in here. Some of more of them I've used, others I haven't. And of course my stencil, which is something that I use quite frequently. The Bullet Journal Method by Ryder Carroll is something that I've been following and something I've been doing a little bit differently than most. I love a traveler's notebook. I love having different inserts. I've tried A5 notebooks. I've tried, those thick bound notebooks, and I've discovered that I'm not a fan of that. I like the traveler's notebook. One reason is I like to have the majority of my months all together in one section. So like right here in my monthly Peaky Dory insert, I keep track of bills, and I have a quick overview of the month. So I can really get a good view at when is a free day, when isn't a free day, and majority of time when I will be busy or busier than other months. So here we are in July. So it was actually kind of nice to have just this notebook with me as we were out of town. We were visiting family. We left on the 29th and we got back on Sunday the 27th. So this is just my monthly, and I use this for future planning and for tracking bills and even future planning of repertoire that we will be performing in that upcoming month. So there is that. Then what I decided to do is, since the bullet journal method is usually done by most people in an A5 dot grid, like Leuchtturm or Moleskine book, I decided to get a large insert for this size with a dot grid. This is Tomoe River paper, and there are 160 pages. And when I say 160 pages, I mean like this is 81, 82, 83. So a page is one side of a page in here. In all actuality, it really only ends up being 40 pieces of paper that are staple bound, but multiplied by 4, because there's 4 for each piece of paper, that gives you 160. And since this is Tomoe River paper, you can see it is very thin when you compare it with other papers, so you can actually have quite a lot. Now, some people will be asking, what is the size, or what is the standard size of this insert? This insert is 4 inches tall by 3 inches wide. These inserts here are from Paper Penguin Co., and they make them just a little bit narrower. They're 4 inches tall, but just a little bit more than, they're in between 2.75 and 3 inches wide. I wish they were a little bit wider, but I think because they make them so thick, they're not. So let's kind of take a look to see what I have done. So I have, like I said, my dot grid insert here. This houses credit card, ATM, debit card, driver's license, and all of that. And like my union card, which you can see there. And since all of that stuff's in there, let's take that out, because I'm going to be going between these two inserts. Now this insert is another, as you can see, 160 page insert of Tomoe River paper, except this is a blank paper. And I've been doing some little art journal-y stuff, practicing with some different watercolors, just to remind myself what Tomoe River paper is like, and actual journaling in my insert. So let's go back to my dot grid, and I did create a title page for it. I started it on June 24th, or started to set it up, and I plan on using it through the end of this month. I have a couple of blank pages here just because. And so on Monday the 24th, since we were going to be gone, I wanted to make sure I had some YouTube content ready to be released. So I just started filming videos, and I just kept track of what I was doing. And then I had a long list of stuff that I needed to do. And so I just, created my little list. I did put a little piece of artwork here, but one thing that Ryder Carroll talks about is that the bullet journal method isn't just a bunch of to-dos. And of course, so what all do you see at the beginning of my insert is just a list of to-dos. And I had a lot of stuff here on my Tuesday list and this that didn't get finished. So when it came to Wednesday, instead of having to rewrite all that stuff again, I just wrote stuff I didn't do yesterday and then just kept going about it. I did a little bit of research here on, a more environmentally friendly soap and toothpaste. These were things that we needed to get for our trip to Ohio to visit the parents. Some YouTube videos. This one I still haven't done, so it is not posted, but this one is, and you've already seen it. And again, so you'll see lists and a couple of cute little stickers. And then what I wanted to do to denote from a day that had to-dos from notes is, this is actually from reading the bullet journal method. So I wrote here along the side and I highlighted it. And I just, some notes that I took. And then something that I thought was important. And then we were going to be packing for quite a few days, so I created packing lists. And so I have it up here at the top highlighted, and I also have it here at the side. The color means nothing, it's just for me to draw my attention to it. So the things that I packed for myself, some of our toiletries that were needed, some art journal stuff I wanted to take, and then a stuff for Seamus, and of course the husband, he was on his own. Just a little Russian, some ideas I think for some Etsy stuff will be going there, some YouTube ideas will go here. I decided to make a list of the online classes I have taken or two that I've registered for that I haven't actually finished, and so I want to go back and review those this coming year, this summer and this year. And then just some artists and Patreon things that I followed in the past. And here we are, some more daily things. Just your typical, marking birthdays of nephews. I watched on Friday the 5th a couple of Romanese videos, and so I took a few notes and then started to intersperse notes and to-dos. There we are. That was Saturday. And again, just some stuff to do. So, and then here's my no-spend spread for the month of July. It's actually going better than most months. I've only purchased 2 things, and I think that was due to the fact that I was away and had very poor internet connection out in the middle of nowhere. So expect a video at the end of this month on how that goes. And then I do have a little wish list started. I decided I do want to get a new Hobonichi stencil because this one has seen better days, and I'm actually really liking this micro size traveler's notebook. So I thought of purchasing one from Monique at Lady Falcon Traveler. So I just have it there in my little wish list. Let's see. I'm going to be selling a lot of my TNs. I'm going to be doing a big purge of stuff because I just have way too much that I just don't use. And so I'm going to list some of that stuff here for myself to think about it. Here was Sunday. And then here's a few videos. Here we are. This video will be going up on the 10th. You'll see I've filmed already a Chic Sparrow unboxing, so just some YouTube ideas. Because Writer Carol in the method did say to create a 2-page spread for something, so I've got extra space for that. Here are some notes preparing for this video. And then starting this week, we're going to be focusing more on our health. And so I've got a 2-page spread of just some things that I want to do. So you can see that I'm already, 2 weeks in, and I'm at page 44, 45. And this has 160. So I'm actually, doing really well that I won't run out of pages in here. Now, one thing that you'll see here is I have bullet journal method book thoughts DIY fish personal insert. So I have been using the DIY fish inserts actually for a long time. I stepped away from them a few years ago. Let's go to one that I actually used really completely. I came back to them at the beginning of this year, and when most people use the bullet journal or the bullet journal method, they have a dot grid insert. Like, here's a dot grid insert. And, they set up their calendar and all of that type of stuff. And due to the nature of my job, being a freelance musician, a classical musician, I need a physical calendar. I need a monthly view. So I can see when I have, for certain projects, if I will have large chunks of time available, or, when I will pretty much be, already booked, scheduled for other things. I do like having a weekly view, so that way I can, put down certain appointments. But, here's another weekly view, where I can actually put down the physical time I need to be. But I like having a day on a page where I can, find a place to put those daily tasks that I need to do, interspersed with what I am doing from the day, or where I can, put down a quote, or where I can do a little bit of journaling. One thing I do know is that I need, especially during our normal season, structure like this. During the summer, my schedule is much more flexible, where I have much more freedom. So this type of structure isn't necessarily needed, but it's nice to have. So July is a good month where I can do something like this. Now, to make sure that I don't run out of this dot grid, I did put this blank insert in here where, I'm putting some little doodles, just some thoughts about what I want to do, splashing some watercolor, doing a little Winnie the Pooh doodle, stuff like that. And so this is kind of how it's going for me this month. It's actually worked much better than I ever expected, this small of a size. In previous years, I'll just pull out something to kind of tease you. This is a Chic Sparrow. It is a passport size with the double secretarial pockets, and it is in the Earl Grey. There will be an unboxing of this coming this week, so be on the watch for it. But I've always used passport or personal size, and actually my very first One Book July, I used this Chic Sparrow here. This is my personal, and it was when it came with the double secretarial pocket, the old stitched in pen loop, and it is the old size, so it is a little bit on the smaller side. And I just love the double secretarial pocket, and I love this size. I almost decided to stay in this size, but since I knew we were traveling, I decided I wanted to try something different. I've used Passport in previous years, so I know that I could make it work. So I wanted to see if I could go smaller, and I can. I have my monthly calendar. I have this for tasks and notes. And then if you ever feel that the size of the page is too small. Something that I wanted to try, I did here on these few pages, is I took the book and I turned it this way, so the page is now going to be roughly 6 by 4. So that way it's almost the size of 4 by 6 is an A6 page. So it's almost like one page in an A6 notebook. You know, so I wrote like that and like that. And I just wanted to see what it would be like then if I went back to writing this way. Or if you wanted to, you could just write straight across that way. But that is one way to kind of trick yourself to think that the page is bigger. So you have 4 by 6. So those are just some of my thoughts. Oh, and I also loved it because you can hold cash in the back with this pocket. So that's something that's really unique about the Foxy Fix. So those are just some of my thoughts after this first week, but really almost 2 full weeks for me inside of my tiny little notebook. If you have any questions, leave them down below and I'll get with them. What are you using? I've seen a lot of videos since I've gotten back of all the wonderful things that people are using. And so let's share those down there, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.